Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Empires and Puzzles video, and this is a video I'm very excited about. Before we get to this video, if you haven't checked out Gemstone Legends yet, come check it out. There are, no joke, thousands of players from Empires and Puzzles that have come over already, and for good reason. Simply put, it's a really fun game with some big advantages over Empires and Puzzles. We both know that the players that join these games earliest are some of the most dominant players. And this game is starting to really take off, so the longer you wait, the more you miss out on. Not only can you support the channel by using the download link in the description of this video, or by scanning the QR code on your screen, but doing so will also give you a free $50 starter bonus with an epic hero, gems, and gold coins, all for free, just by using the link or QR code provided. And then when you start, you'll gain access to beginner events exclusively for players who use the link or QR code provided that will give you another strong epic hero, a set of 5-star legendary equipment, and a platinum scroll for another guaranteed epic or legendary hero. Lastly, I have created a bunch of videos in a Gemstone Legends playlist on my YouTube channel to make learning this game as easy and fun as possible. So hit that download link in the description and get started with one of the most fun and deep Match 3 RPGs. There's a great community in Gemstone Legends, it has some huge advantages over Empires and Puzzles, and overall I think you guys are really gonna like it. We have the third Soul Exchange, I believe. Yeah, I think it's the third. And I'm going to do what I did last time, which is not look at the heroes until I'm showing them. So 1203, this thing just opened up. I have not opened it yet. So I'm very excited to see who they put in here because it seems to get better every time. And I had some requests to do it the way I did it last time, which is to only reveal to myself. You're going to see the whole thing all at once, but I'm going to cover it up on my screen to only see one row at a time, talk through all the heroes, give my live reaction to who's in here, my genuine reaction, and then after that give my recommendations for who I think is the most valuable kind of objectively, and just to present some information that might help you decide more subjectively which of these is going to fit your roster better based on your budget for heroes. So let's get to it. Yeah, I'm going to put this video out as soon as I can to give you plenty of time. There's people that make the decision immediately, which I don't understand, but here we go. Covered it up. Oh, no way. This was leaked, and it was correct. I'm still only looking at the top row, but this looks very familiar, so I think I already know who's in here. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. All right, first row, we have Kiona. A pretty weak sniper by today's standards, average speed. And she gives that scaling attack boost to the allies nearby. I would not recommend her. She's a hero that if you have her, you can make her work, but not a sought-after hero. Next we have Ranveer, 5-star Wukong. Wukong does a good enough job, but I don't think this guy is worth it, especially when you have to spend darts. If you have tons of darts and you really want a Titan hero, go for it. I don't value Titans that highly. If you're in a decently strong alliance, you can probably handle some decently high Titans, only missing a few or none every once in a while. Next, we have Lady Locke. Dot damage. She's good at that. I forget what else she offers. Let me see if I can open her up without seeing the other heroes. Target nearby, receive 869 over 4 turns. This will scale with attack boost, and she cleanses all allies. Extremely low defense and very low HP for that defense, so her stats are extremely dated. The damage can be high, it's cleansable. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of hers. Okay. Next we have Natalia, one of the worst heroes. It would be nice if she got a buff, but let's see if we can open. So target receives 752 over 4 turns, cannot be cleansed. Minus 54 for 4, can't be cleansed. Extra damage against nature. Element Link gives increased mana generation. So it kind of like takes one hero out of the mix. It's just not that effective. I suppose there's ways you could make it work better by like, I mean, this would be a long shot, but if you could add Franz for the increased damage or something like that, it just isn't enough. 4 turns to kind of lock down one hero. I don't know. I think she's weak. Next we have Raphael, pretty strong healer for slow speed. He cleanses, he brings everyone to 50% health, and then gives us a solid heal of return. His only downside, despite being a strong hero of the month, is his speed at slow speed. Monk class is great for him, because if you try to stop his mana, he can withstand and then cleanse everyone. So no strong picks in here. You can make them work, and if you're on the 10 hero budget, I don't know what recommendation I can give, but hopefully that helps you make a better decision. They're all very different heroes. Raphael, I think, is one of the better ones. Wukong is more niche, so I wouldn't go for him. Okay, row 2. Oh man, the leak was correct. That's so disappointing. All right, we have Senin, who was just featured in the Challenge Festival 2. Not a great hero in my opinion. Yeah, he does Fiends, but the Fiends don't do anything. I think the Slayers were just a flop. I don't like them. They were like trying to see, what if we make all of them slow, but they're tanky, so they survive and they heal and they cleanse, or they don't cleanse, but they take less damage from dot, etc. I just don't think it worked. I think this is still a speed-based meta, and it was an experiment, and you can use them, sure, but they are, from my experience, not dominant heroes. We have Ayuda next. Don't know if there's a different way to pronounce that. Decent sniper. Let's see if we can open this without peeking. Decent sniper, 450. It's okay. It's pretty good for fast. She does extra damage the first time, which is nice. 500 extra damage if the target has boosted health, which is probably 50% more damage than she would be dealing, which is nice. And she's a rogue, so that's cool. Stats are looking a little dated with the low HP there. Zelene, quite an old hero. Dispel is nice, attack down is nice, but the damage is low. I don't rate her highly. She's also very squishy, so not my choice. Kestrel, pretty similar. Again, let's see if we can open this without peeking. 215 up to 335. So if he does max damage, that's pretty consistent with the best hit 3 heroes, but his stats are laughable by today's standards. If his defense was only 700 with 1350 HP, his attack would be like 840 or something, So with emblems and limit break, if you want to invest that heavily, he's got a solid class. They didn't make this for individual heroes yet, and for 2 you only get 3% attack, which is just terrible. So yeah, not a strong pick for me. Theobald is definitely the worst of the Circus family. 405 to 1, sure. 260 to the rest, yeah. Green Reflect is nice. The attack boost for 4 turns is quite nice. Slow speed though, he's pretty good for rush attack, but I don't believe in leveling heroes just for that unless you have like 50 max 5 stars or something. And even still, I've got this guy. I've just had other heroes competing for those same resources. If he was green, I might level him with a different reflect, with like a red reflect or something. But yeah, not that appealing. The attack boost is probably the best thing about him. All right, final row. Oh man, it was as I saw before. Shit. Don't need a single one of these heroes. That's a personal problem though. Let's not project that onto the video. So I'll still give a recommendation at the end of this. Obviously this row is the one you want to go for if you can afford to do it. And I already know what my recommendation is here. So I have strong feelings about who to choose. So yeah, let's get there. So we have Onyx first. Solid purple ninja. Doesn't dispel first. He does dispel and he does buff block, which is a nice utility to have in your roster, but I don't find him to be super competitive. He still works actually. He's a defensive, or excuse me, an offensive hero. I would not put him on defense anymore because the ninjas are too unreliable. He's just looking a little bit dated, is what I mean to say. He's a strong choice, but not the best one, I think, here. Next we have Zuri. Fantastic healer. Stats not so great for a healer, but 65% heal to lowest HP, 42 to the rest, and a 15% HP minion. So if you add those together, that's an 80% heal to the lowest health hero, and then a 57% heal to the next one. Does leave you vulnerable for heroes that punish minions. You also get a cleanse in here. A great hero, a healer that I still use now and have considered doing a second of. But yeah, she's nice. Quinnell is a hero I was ultimately excited about and did limit break. I was really, really hoping to see Evelynn in this soul exchange, because that is the type of hero I'm missing to make strong green teams. I have a lot of good green hit threes, but I don't have the heroes to set them up for the big damage. So I just don't find myself using a lot of them. But Quinnell is a very interesting hero. 320 to target a nearby, fast speed. And then she gets this buff every turn for, well, it takes 5 turns for it to max at 200. And then caster gets additional up to 200% special skill damage, which can make her hit very hard. And keep in mind that's for 3 heroes. So that damage is quite good. It can get blocked. It can get dispelled. The family bonus has a chance for it to be undispellable, but you need at least 2 heroes, and it's only basically a 1/3 chance. So it's not great. If you got the time to wait, that's great. But if you have the time to wait, you've probably already won the battle. I'm not trying to say she's a bad hero. She's a cool hero with a cool mechanic that hits solid even at 320 for fast speed. It's not like she's average speed or something like that, but she's not going to wipe out one side unless you've got a pretty serious setup for her, which is the tricky part for me. So I find myself not using her that often, personally. However, she might be exactly who you want. She's capable of hitting very hard. Not like hard enough to do like good Titan scores or something because it's only special skill damage. But she can hit really, really hard. Like, I don't know. I can't remember exactly how much, but a very, very strong hit. It's just awkward to time it out. You know, you've got to be able to wait and survive. Next up, we have Asterius from the Villains family. 360 to the target and nearby, but he is average speed. Stats are a bit softer than we saw in Quinnell. Reduces the duration of the target and nearby enemies' buffs by 1 turn. That doesn't work for buffs that have not been cast yet. That only works for buffs that are currently active. So it's nice to have, but it's not one of the better things about his special. It's just like, oh, that's cool, that's there, is how I feel about that. Target and nearby enemies receive Corrosive Burn for 3 turns. Corrosive Burn deals 101 and lowers defense by 16% each turn. So that's going to max out at 48%, which is a really nice number. It just scales incrementally over 3 turns. So 16, 32, 48. The burn can go up quite a bit higher, probably around 175 maybe if you go with emblems and limit break, perhaps more. I don't think it ever gets over 200. But yeah, pretty nice. The defense down thing is cool, and if you can wait, minus 48% defense to 3 is really good, especially if you can follow up his own hit there. If it was 4 turns, it would be very good because the chances of following up are high. 3 turns, you may catch it, you may not, but other heroes can follow up after him. So if you were to hit like Marjana, Asterius, and then someone else, that's a team that I use in a rush attack. 3 reds, and if you get 2 red matches, you can kill a whole side pretty easily, and he's an important part of that. Even in the first turn, minus 16% is a nice addition to elemental defense down or something like that. Last up, we have Morel. 180 to all. All enemies get minus 34% defense for 3 turns. Decent stats, pretty solid stats actually. Does extra damage on the first cast. Chance to pierce with the class. You got the Underwild gems. This is one of those heroes that I just think is kind of boring. He or she is an important hero on a lot of people's teams. I don't use this hero that much. I do have a team where I started to bring them back, where I use Quinton, Morel, and Sobek, and that is pretty nice if I can get those blues. So a very what you see is what you get hero. It's just a matter of if you have the follow-up to capitalize on this. The damage is pretty weak overall, so even firing 3 times, the team is still going to be alive. So you've got to have the right synergies with Morel to make something happen. So what are my recommendations? Okay, I think if the first row is too hard, I feel like I would, if you need a healer, go Raphael. If you want a damage dealing hero, I would try to make Lady Locke work because her damage can be quite high as long as it doesn't get cleansed or outright blocked. That's another thing about Zuri that is really freaking good is this family bonus is incredibly good. Like, it's overpowered. 50% chance with only her on your team. She has a 50% chance every turn to cleanse the most recent status ailment. So bringing her in rush attack, she has a 50% chance to lose the mindless attack, and then if you can charge her, you can cleanse everybody else. So having a self-cleansing cleanser, really, really good. And this goes off all the time. 2, 75, 3, 100% chance to cleanse every turn. So the 50 is good enough. The fact that they made it work for single heroes is awesome. So you'd have to watch out using Locke against her because there's a 50% chance at least that she will cleanse each turn. But from that row, that is who I would take. If you need a healer, Raphael. If you need a damage dealer, granted it's going to be delayed damage, which is why the damage is pretty decent, then I would probably go with Locke. Row 2. I cannot in good conscience recommend Senin or Theobald. So I would go with one of the 3. Do you want to hit 3 that's very situational with weak stats? Do you want a hit all with Dispel and attack down? I think she's minus 34% attack. 4 turns, which is nice instead of 3, but 143% damage is very weak. Let's see, what is her? Plus 10% defense, so you get another 68 defense at least, which brings her up to about 750 something, which is more decent. So that's nice that you just get that sleeper buff there. And if you use 2 2018s, then you get 15% defense for your entire team. So that is pretty easy to work around, but her damage is quite weak. Does hit ice harder. 10% mana generation is pretty nice. So pretty solid thing here. It's just this, if you don't have some strong damage with her, this is going to be a fairly passive team. Or you just got a decently strong sniper here that really punishes overhealing to try to bring that hero back into the red. All right, row 3, if you need a hitter, I would take Asterius because of the internal synergy he has with the defense down and the burn damage, along with 360% damage to all. If you have some kind of setup for him, that's a really good hit. Burn lingers, and you got defense down that you can capitalize on with tiles, with a follow-up hit. Basically those 2 things, but I feel like that's really powerful. Morel, still a decent choice. You know, I wouldn't fault you for taking Morel. Defense down to all, much weaker hit. No, burn damage, no extra bells and whistles, just defense down to all. So not the most appealing choice because, as we have seen, a good combination of hit threes and taking out one side of the team, very hard to lose if you can do that. So you really don't need defense down to everyone at the same time because you don't need to kill, and rarely can you kill everyone at the same time. You just need to take out some heroes to make it a little more lopsided in your favor. Quinnell, decent there. I still think Asterius is a better choice. Her damage can be crazy big, but you've got to keep her alive and you got to keep her from getting dispelled, all this kind of stuff to make it happen. So it's not just like guaranteed she's just massive damage all the time. But Asterius has quite a big hit. Obviously, if you need a healer, Zuri is fantastic. 50% chance to cleanse every turn is really freaking good. Her heal is massive, 80% or 57% to everyone else. Minions have decent attack. That's not going to matter that much. Her class is not a great fit for her. Monk is always nice. That would be pretty freaking strong with her passive, though. Just like nothing sticks to her. So, yeah, she's really good. We're definitely in the age of overhealers where you almost need overhealing now because there's so much damage coming at you so fast with all the heroes they're releasing that, if you can overheal first, you can survive that more easily. If you're just topping off and you then have to charge that hero again, your chances of dying are more likely. She is one of the few non-overhealers you can get away with because she can bring you back from the brink so significantly. 57% heal to all is really nice, but 80 to one hero is big. And then you add in the family bonus and it's like, yeah, she's an easy choice. I've been looking at ascending a second of her. Haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I do use the one of her every single war, and I am a big fan. So if you need a healer, a strong healer, like maybe something you should do, which is something that I have done, look through your roster, look at your best 5-star heroes, maybe even 4-star heroes, depending on what you use frequently, and look at the proportion of healers to attackers. Because when I did that for myself, I was like, wow, I have way more attackers than healers in proportions that don't match the team compositions I actually use. What I mean by that is I needed healers. I did not have enough healers. So I've been working on maxing more of those. So, I pose the question, do you need a healer? Do you need an attacker? Look at your roster because your perception of what you might have is probably different from what you do actually have, and you might find, a good, strong, reliable healer with decent stats is probably something that would benefit me well, even though the attackers, seem like the fun ones. We want to do big damage, but I think mostly we want to win, and to win, you need to be able to survive, and to survive, you need a good healer, unless you just rely on pure luck, but your chances of winning consistently will not be high. So, who am I going to take? That's a good question. I have all of these heroes except 2. And the 2 I don't have are Zelene or Lady Locke, and I don't think that I care about either of those. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but hopefully that information is helpful to you, and you can choose the hero that is right for you. If you're watching this and you have already selected hero this early on, I suggest waiting next time. There is no rush. This doesn't disappear randomly. This isn't a mistake that you have to capitalize on. This is here for 2 full days. You can mull it over, and I recommend doing it because these do not come around very often. So if you did that again, just wait next time. I will release a video. I will give recommendations. Please share this video with your alliance mates if you think this would be helpful for them. This is a very rare opportunity for us players to get to choose a guaranteed hero, and I think it's something we should make very carefully. Most people do not have just a vast abundance of 5-star heroes they don't need, so this is something to not take lightly, and hopefully this video helps you do exactly that. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like it. I really appreciate that support, and it really does matter. So thank you guys for doing that. That's it. I've talked a lot at you. Mull it over for a while. Take your time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.